covering a cake in fondant is a piece of piss. Said no one ever. So I'm going to show you how I've tweaked a little method to get the most flawless finishes on your fondant. So this is the panelling method. So as you can see, I've got a fully ganached cake. I prefer ganache over buttercream. It's more stable, it allows for more mistakes, you know. So we're going to roll out a bit of fondant that's big enough to cover the top of your cake, just the top for now. It needs to be slightly bigger. So as you can see, I'm flopping it on, and then we're going to flip this. So there's a lot of flipping in this video, so you do need to have a little bit of confidence, especially with the heavier cakes. So flip it, and then get a super sharp craft knife, and we're going to trim off that excess. Pop it onto a turntable at this point. It just helps get a really nice, neat finish. Discard that little piece, and then we're going to flip it again. So now what we need to do, we need to measure the circumference of our cake. You need to make sure that it's lubed up first. Hang on. Right, so I've used Trex. You can use water, you can use edible glue, but just make sure that the sides of your cake are tacky. And then we're going to go on to measure the circumference. Probably do that before you've put your Trex on, actually, because your tape measure will get all messy. And then we're going to roll out a really long ass piece of fondant. This needs to be long enough to go all the way around your cake. So I use a fabric tape measure to get the circumference, and then as you can see, I'm rolling it out really long. A point here to be made is that make sure it is longer and taller than the actual measurements you need, because that excess is going to be what we cut off and make sure everything's pristine with, if you get me. So you can check the depth, if you like, making sure that you've rolled it out evenly. And there's my tape measure again, and we're just cutting off the excess. It's not exact at this point, don't worry, nothing has to be straight or exact at this point. This is why I like this method, because you don't have to be too namby-pamby at this point. The finishing touches come at the end. So we're going to roll that piece of fondant back up onto a rolling pin, and then flip the cake again. Yes, there's reasons why I flip so many times. You don't need to, but I find it just gets a neater finish because you're cutting more precisely. So make sure that the rolling pin is sitting flush to the board, and roll it back onto the cake, you know, just smoothing with your hands as you go to make sure there's no air bubbles. And now we're going to cut where those two joins overlapped. This is why it's important to roll out more than you need, because the overlap will then allow those joins to be super precise. So tacky it up a bit with a bit of water and join those two seams. Now, you will never ever get rid of the seam completely with the panelling. That's what always put me off. But if you spend a little bit of time, so I've used a bit of discarded fondant here, it seems to hug the cake amazingly. It's like a magic eraser. And just spend a bit of time getting rid of that. Oh, bloody notifications. TikTok, I'm trying to do a voiceover. Anyway, so then as you can see, so you're looking at the bottom now, missus, just trim the base off, then we're going to flip it again. And are you ready? Are you ready? Look at that. It's like magic. So now I will spend about an hour smoothing everything out and making it perfect. But that is just a simple, quick demonstration on how I panel.